We have three interest rate reports last week that bring about volatilities to the market. We have the interest rate report from the ECB, from the Canadian dollar, and then from the New Zealand. And last week, we saw the PPI results, the CPI results, that is a consumer price index, coming out better than expected, which gives US dollar strength last week. And on Thursday, we saw a mixed result in the PPI results, that is the producer price index, which comes as expected and then below expectation. So what are we now looking at this week? Last week we saw the US dollar strength last week, and then we have the GU sell massively, EU sell massively, and then the US dollar card, Canadian dollar buy massively last week. That is we have a lot of volatility coming to the market last week. And then this week, as we saw this weekend, that the Iran started attacking Israel, which means that we might have some uncertainty in the market, and then the safe haven currency might be the boost next week. Safe haven currency might rally next week. Let's just put it like that. That is coming from the gold, the JPY, the Swiss franc, and probably the US dollar, because it is also a safe haven currency. But don't let us predict yet, so we will react in the new week after the opening of the market on Monday. So probably after Monday candle close, then we'll actually know maybe the safe haven will dominate the market or not. And then oil, expect a significant boost in the oil price next week. Just expect. I'm not saying it will happen. Expect. If you see a chance to enter a bull market, that is for oil, then you would not want to hesitate to enter because of the geopolitical tension going on between the Iran and the Israel now. So in the US dollar, as you can see, there is a breakout of this level and then a retest and price breakout of this resistance level. So what is the next thing you're going to look at as a trader right here? As a trader, you know that this place is actually a resistance level too. So probably, and then a supply level, as you can see it right there. So there's a significant amount of supply here that can actually drag price to the downside. So let's see, probably we might see a rejection, probably coming back to retest this, and then we will still stay above this particular low next week before we actually see a big rally that will break this, and then the next resistance level we'll be looking at is 107,268. But probably if the geopolitical tension keep on looming, then probably we might not see a retracement like that. Market can just do like this and then we break this, and then with high volatility we might see a move to 112,794. that is a US dollar strength, because the impact of the CPI also show that the US dollar economy is in good hand, and then it's very, very strong. The US economy is very strong and it's in good hand. So probably let's see how price react to this particular area. So technically what I'm actually looking at for a slowdown price at this particular level, probably to retest this level, or if you use a Fibonacci retracement, you can use a 50% fib level as a point where you'll be looking for the US dollar strength. So probably you might be looking for US dollar strength at 61.8 level or at 50% level before the break of this resistance level. But what I'm actually looking at next week is to see a retracement and then a bullish continuation on the SY. So guys, before we go to the individual currency, let's check the economic activities of next week. So next week there are significant numbers of economic activities next week coming from the retail sales. That is on Monday, this one to is used to measure inflation. So let's see how it goes. Here is a high impact news. As you can see, this is a high impact news, and we have China industrial production on Tuesday. We have GBP climate count on Tuesday. We have on Tuesday too, we have Canadian dollar CPI. We have building permits data on Tuesday, and then the same Tuesday too, we have the speech from the FOMC member. We have the speech from the Bank of Canada governor, and then we have the speech from Jerome Powell on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have Bank of England governor speech and then the CPI. Thursday, we have the unemployment rate and employment change in the Australian dollar. So goes up for next week too. Probably most of what you have here is announcement and speech, except from the quality sales on Monday. But with that, also still look for more volatility coming to the US dollar next week, and then let's see how JPY, Swiss franc, gold, and then the US dollar reacts to the geopolitical tension on Monday. Then we will use it to probably predict how we enter the market on Tuesday. But I have some analysis on ground in case we have the uncertainty playing out in our favor. So let's see. The first one I want to check is how price reacts to this level on gold, because I've already marked this area as my entry price. As you can see, this is my entry price right here. So I want to see how price reacts to this area, and then what I'm actually looking at is a bullish bias from this area to break this particular level to the upside. So I'm actually looking at a bullish bias on gold amidst this uncertainty, because I believe in terms of uncertainty, gold flies to with the rest of the safe havens currency. So probably I want to see how gold reacts to this level, and any retracement you see is an opportunity to look for a bullish bias on gold. That is to break this level, and then we might see a new all-time high on gold. So if price go below 2324, we might just ignore gold right there. That is if price go below this area, so you need to ignore it for a while until price now come back and then show you a bullish bias or bullish sentiments right there. So probably that's what I'm actually looking at on gold. That is to the upside. So the next thing I'm looking at is the pounds US dollar. As you can see, the pounds US dollar has breakout of this range. That is from November range. Since November, it has been ranging around this particular area, and then we saw a breakout of this last week. But after a breakout, what you should be expecting is a deep pullback before the continuation. So probably we might see a pullback from 1.25365, or then if it's deep enough, we might see a pullback from 1.2700 before the continuation of the bearish movement. So probably I'm actually looking at a rejection from this trendline level back to the downside, and we might see seller pushing the price dragging the price back to 1.21040. Yeah, seller actually dragged the price back to 1.21040. But probably this is what I'm actually looking at for a deep pullback, because I might see sometimes we do see a pullback that will do half of that particular range then before the rejection to the downside. So in a nutshell, any retracement you see like this back to this area, if there is no rejection and then you didn't see yourself set up, then you might actually wait for it to this area. Then this is where I'll be looking for a rejection with a high probability to the downside at that particular area. So let's see how price reacts to this area, but at least we might actually see a retracement back to this particular level, and then we see a rejection back to 1.21040. So let's go to the next pair, which is the euro US dollar. Euro US dollar to fell last week, and then I dropped this from here, and then it did almost 200 pips from this particular area to the downside and break this particular level. All right, so this particular support level. So what are you now looking at here? You know that after this low right here, there's a pullback which actually reject here, and then we have this low taken out, and then here there's also a pullback, a big pullback to this particular level, which have this low taken out to this area. So probably we might see a pullback to this particular level, which you might see a rejection back to 1.04658. So probably this is what I'm actually looking at on euro USD going into next week, that we might see a pullback back to 1.0803, let's say 80 to 81 or 82, yeah, before a rejection to the downside. So based up for next week, let's see how price react to this on Monday. Then if you now see the big pullback here, then you actually do what to wait for a rejection, and then at least probably if we might actually see the pullback rejecting at this particular level here, and then you see it might not get to this particular area of resistance. You might actually see a resistance level here, and then the price will actually reject back to 1.04658. So guys, let's see how price reacts to this level. I'm on a bearish bias on euro USD, GBP USD, and then AUD US dollar. So probably this next pair AUD US dollar too, I'm actually looking for a deep pullback back to this particular area, or this area. Then I will be looking for a bearish entry at 0.65647, or at this particular area. That is to enter my bearish setup back to 0.62705. So let's go to the pounds Canadian dollar. I'm actually looking for a bullish setup, and then one thing you should know here is that this is giving a head and shoulder vibes, and probably you need to wait to see how price will react to this particular level, because price might still come back, and then you just see it ranging here before you will see a breakout to the upside. So if you actually see a breakout, then this is where your target should be. Your target should be at 1.73320. That is where your target should be. But probably to be on the safer side, your first target might be at 1.72351. But look at how price reacts to this level, and this is your safe zone right here, where you should not look for a bullish setup again. If the 1.71046 is broken, if this price is broken to the downside, then I don't think you have any reason to look for a bullish setup again. But if price still stay above this 1.71046, then you should be looking for a bullish setup back to 1.72. If this level break, then your TP2 should be at 1.37320. On US dollar JPY, I'm actually looking for a bearish setup from this particular area, even though the overall bias is to the upside, and then the price have broken the 151.85 level, which is a very solid resistance level right here. You know, price range here, and then we have a breakout. So probably next week on Monday, I'll be looking at how price reacts to this area. That is a Monday London session. I will be looking at how price react to this area, but my bias is to the downside. The price should break this area and then we'll see a move back to 151,854. And then if the uncertainty, that is the safe haven currency, which is the JPY, gain a lot of strength, then we should see price coming back into this area and then started going to the downside. So let's see how price reacts to this area next week. So this is my safe zone right here. If price go above 153.332, then my bias, I won't be on a bearish bias again. So probably my bias will be neutral, because or probably I will look for a bullish bias, that is a pullback and a place to enter my bullish bias. So for now, my bias is bearish on US dollar, Japanese yen, looking for price to reject at this level and then give a bearish bias back to 151,854. The next pair is Euro Japanese yen. So Euro Japanese yen, my bias is bearish at this particular area. So as a trader, what you need to look at here is that we have price has break out this significant resistance level at first, then it did a pullback into that level and we have a breakout again. Another thing you should look at is that after it break out, it did not break this high. So probably there is a significant resistance area here which make the price reject back to the downside, and then you actually see the formation of a double top around area, which means that you might have a big pullback very soon. Same thing happen around this area where this price where there's a rejection here, and this one did not actually break above it, and then we have a very big pullback. It happens here also, in which this did not actually break it, and then we have a very big pullback after the break of that neckline. So this one has not yet break the neckline, so probably we might still see price coming back to this area, and then we'll see price falling back to 165.01. So this is what I'm actually looking at, for price to reject at this level, for a pullback to this level and a rejection back to 165.01. If this support level break, we should see price come back to 158.401 and 9. So let's see how price react to this area. But if we now see price breaking this particular level, I will not be willing to sell euro or Japanese yen, so I'll just be neutral or find my bullish bias around above this particular level, then to the upside, because if price break back and close above this level, we might actually see a formation of a new high that will break this particular high right there. But my bias is bearish bias. And another thing that prompts me to be on a bearish bias here is because of this uncertainty that is looming. So probably we might see price coming back to this area. If break, then we'll see price coming back to 158.41 and then 9. So on SND JPY too, I'm on a bearish bias on SND JPY. As you can see, price came below this particular area, and then you see this gives a head and shoulder vibes, that is to the downside, and then you can actually wait for price to retest this area and look for a rejection, because any rejection here and then break out this area will be an opportunity to look for a bearish setup back to 870 0.665. So that's what I'm actually looking at here going into the next week. And the last pair is Swiss franc J Japanese yen. So this might actually break out, and we'll see a retest of this trend line before we'll see a rejection that will break this particular level, that will break this back to this particular area. So let's see how price reacts to all this levels. So I'm bearish bias on AUD JPY, Euro JPY, Swiss franc JPY, US dollar JPY. So on Monday, you just need to chill and then see how price reacts to all those levels before you go in into the market, and then see how those safe havens currency react on Monday, how markets react with the safe havens currency on Monday, and use it before you actually end. So guys, this new week, don't forget to use your protective stop loss, don't forget to trade safely, and our GBP USD bot is still very much active and printing. And then we have like 9 to 10 months consistently generating profits. That's a minimum of 15%, 20% each month. So if you want to open, the link to my Twitter page is on the description box. You can DM, and then I will give you the criteria to open the GBP US dollar bots. So don't forget to trade safely, and then have a lovely weekend ahead.